Pro Billiard Series. We are live all the way from Rome. This is the Banca del Fucino WPA Women's World 10 Ball Championship. And we do have another great matchup coming up in the opening round of this World Championship. As we have from Germany, Pia FILLER on the left, taking on Sakura MURAMATSU on the right from Japan. This is 10 ball, so it's call shot. Best out of 3 sets races to 4. No early 10 balls allowed. My name is Tim de Ruiter, and I'm gladly joined by a man who always finds the funniest facts about the location where we face off. Mark White. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much, Tim. It's a very nice introduction. Yeah, I will have some facts for us a little bit later on, but I want to start with some stats, actually. Over on table 2, it started the same time, Tim, as our first match started at 11 a.m. It's still going. It's Mighty Reparo against So Soa, and it's 1 set each, but Reparo, the Spaniard, is 3-0 up in the third and deciding set. That's over on table 2 for you. But here we go on table 1.
Yeah, MURAMATSU to start off in the opening set. A nice square hit. Probably the best break we've seen so far in the previous match. The break kind of being a mood killer. Beautiful 1 ball into the side and no future on the 2.
Just wondering, Tim, is it worth a little push to the 3? A little push to leave the jump on the 2? Maybe.
Well, the jump can be tricky. There's not so much space between the 6 and the 2. The other option is to maybe play the push the 4 and the 6 together, run the cue ball up to the 9, leave a bank, for example, but at least make sure you lock the 2 balls up. Well, this, I don't mind this kind of safety, but the problem is, how are you going to run the cue ball back down, and actually do you even have enough to get the 2 ball safe? I'm not a big fan, and neither is Pia.
Pia will be looking for a deep run in this tournament. She's been experiencing and enjoying some really good form just recently. Predicted, Tim, what she didn't want, catching the 5.
Well, these 2 ladies in general running the clock down a bit more often than the previous match we had. Of course, we had Jessica Centeno and Xiao Feng Fu. They were cruising around the table. These 2 players more deliberate. Complete different style. And honestly, there is no better or worse. I think it's the beauty of the game. Well, hasn't left a shot on, but was really trying to nestle the cue ball up with the 5 ball.
It's those little shots, Tim, isn't it, that can cost you control of the table. If she sticks that behind the 5, she's got Sakura in all kinds of trouble. But now there's a chance for Sakura to put Pia in trouble and gain back advantage here.
Yeah, this
There you
also
see.
one of those shots you would like to actually hit the ball, but you kind of have to hold the stroke to be on the 4. Could easily land behind the 8. But nicely done. Yeah, look at this for an opening rack. She's got the 6 in front of the side, the 7 over the corner. I do think the 8 does go into the middle to connect with the 9. Especially in this set format, important to have a good start. Get going early. Might get your opponent out of stroke 2 at the same time. Yeah, good pace from 7 to the 8. Top right spin back to the middle of the table, or a little shorter than the middle. So far, so good. You know, in the beginning can be tricky at times to get the right pace of the table. Of course, they have some time to practice before the match. But when you shake your opponent's hand, a lot of players, you know, there's instantly a little bit of tension, or, you know, it's just a different way of striking the ball. Before you know it, you lose the table speed a little bit. But this 10 to open her account, be a filler.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it, Tim? How just that shake of the hands from, you know, you've been doing a little bit of practice, you've had half an hour warm-up, you're cueing really well, no nerves, everything feels great. And then, as you say, as soon as that handshake happens, there's a little switch kind of goes on, and the nerves tend to build, and you never really settle until you get on the board. And that's exactly what Pia's done, so that should settle her down. Now, I was just doing a little bit of research on Sakura, and she actually lost in last year's women's 10 ball to the young lady who just lost in the first match, Xiao Fang Fu. She lost on a shootout with Xiao Fang last year. Just lost to Cheska, of course, who is our reigning champion. Can she win it for a third time? Or will we have a new name on the trophy this year?
Now, great chance for MURAMATSU right after the break. Don't think we see any issues. Do you think the 9 ball goes into the bottom right still?
Looks very tight, Tim.
Yeah, so maybe overall on the rack, no issues. But the 8, 9, 10 could be it. Needs to be a bit straighter on the 2. Doesn't want to have too much angle. Oh, she's fallen a bit more angle. So now, first trap would be the 8 ball. Touch the 8, you're not going to be on the 3 ball.
Sakura has been a student of the very funny but very talented Nukioi for some time. Yeah, there was the 8-ball, Tim. Kind of couldn't miss it, could you? Certainly not the way she played it. Bank is on.
Well, from this angle, the 4 comes into play a little bit. I mean, indeed, I think there might be a bank. Could also play safety, 3 into the 4, cue ball under the 8, 9, 10 in this view. Use the 4 as a stopper for the 3 ball.
Yeah,
it's a good
nicely
shot.
done.
Especially the 10 ball blocking the right long rail. There is just little space between the 3 and the 9, so not so much time for the cue ball to land if you would jump. So the only option is a 2-rail kick. And that's usually where mistakes are being made. Well, she might be. Well, she's saying to go 1 rail. Surprised. So needs to catch this half ball. Kind of full contact. Well, gotta say, cannot imagine this to be her intention. On the other side, she's made a hit.
That's what you call a filler jelly roll.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trap. I mean, you could go over the center pocket point, probably a more full contact on the 3 ball. If you thread the needle here, you might push the 3 over the corner. Yeah, there's like no safety opportunities really kicking it this way.
It's kind of like the finer arts, Tim, isn't it? Of safety play and kicking, knowing which way to kick, not just hitting the ball, but, you know, the best way to play it to get some kind of cover.
Yeah, it's not just making a contact. Indeed, also, I know, for example, the best kickers in the world, they pick a side, you know. They could go 3, 4 rails and still pick a specific side they want to hit the ball to increase chances of, well, any luck. I mean, is it luck? It's a calculated risk, probably, but it's all part of the trick.
Well, this young lady's husband is one of those I would put in the category of being certainly in the top 3 kickers in the world.
Now, we did get this look earlier, but now, even more important, this 9 does go by the 10. She is straight in on the 6, so tap this in, straight on the 7. Just to stay on the left side of the 10 from where the 8 is.
Yeah, I would have put money on that 9 ball not going past the 10 from that angle, Tim. Just shows you, doesn't it? The camera plays tricks sometimes. Now in perfect position to double her lead.
Oh, well, how's that for a miss? That's definitely not one we were expecting to see. Maybe a bit short on the stroke, a bit jabby.
Yeah, just smiled to herself, didn't she, as she sat down. She knows she done something, well, just a, shall we say, just an error, which players make sometimes. That's all you can put it down to. Just a lack of concentration or something. But 1-1 it is. There's Emily Duddy, look. The billiard bombshell from New York City. Unfortunately lost her first match. Now we do have a final result. Mighty Reparo has beaten Sosoa. So a couple of shocks early on. Kelly Fisher getting beaten as well in straight sets. Wei Chu Chen through safely. Emily going down to Zhang Muan in straight sets. Savannah Easton through. Sophia Mast through. Now, guys, if you visit ProBilliardSeries.com and click on events, there's a little option there called Live Stats. Our stat man, the pool stat guy, is working hard. We will give you some as well on screen, I'm sure, periodically. But if you want some match stats, you can go on there, choose your match, and get the stats. Good break, Tim, but nothing down.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, went aggressive. Not guaranteed to be on the 2, Tim. Are you a little bit surprised she didn't tuck her up there?
Yeah, I am. If she did take the cut on the 1, she will have to take the cut on the 2. Imagine how many cushions she will have to travel to be able to have something on the 3. And then if you overall look at the rack, the 3 to the 4 is the biggest shot of the rack, probably the biggest positional play. So with all those details in mind, she could have easily stuck the cue ball behind the 2, I feel like. Yeah, I also feel like this was more of a defensive play. Non-successful though. But really didn't feel like she was chasing the pot there. So missed opportunity to play a good save on the 1. And now maybe a similar shot for Muramatsu, bringing the cue ball under the 9.
What a close-up that was of the backhand of Muramatsu. Misjudging the 2-round escape though, Tim. And now this has to go down as a really good chance with ball in hand.
Yeah, now with the ball in hand, you can put yourself a lot better on the 3 ball. The 4 has moved more into a more available position. So get yourself nice and close on the 4. Maybe the 6 ball. I mean, it's not a problem at that point. But the 6 doesn't go in all the corners, all the pockets. So you might have to play it into the top left. She did land just besides the 6. Yeah, you could see the cue just barely sliding over the 6. Now, she did get quite straight on the 5. We did get the view to where we could see the 6 does go by the 8, but not the full pocket. I don't think she's got any other options to play position 2.
You want to be straight as possible as well on this 6 ball, so you're looking at the pocket.
Yeah, she will have to run into the long rail and back out with top spin. And the more pace, the trickier those get. Well, nice and clean. Straight in on the 7.
I'm sure she's forgotten all about it already. That miss in the last rack. But it could so easily have been 3-0. 3-0. It's going to be 2-1 by the looks of it. Nice run out from Pia, securing that 2-1 lead. Now then, there's a very famous fountain, Tim, in Rome called the Trevi Fountain, and it's where tourists toss coins in there and make a wish, and it takes up to $3,300 in a single day. So every day tourists are throwing $3,300 into this fountain. That's about 1.5 million a year, which the city then collects and generously donates to the Caritas charity to help out poor families. What a lovely way to use the money. These young ladies playing for $55,000. That's a nice break, Tim. Not too much power, but nice and accurate.
Yeah, it was a controlled cut break, indeed. The 1 ball almost dropping. I have to say, in her favor right now, for the 1 not to drop. She's got a nice safety behind the 10-4 and the 3 ball. She was elevating the cue quite a lot. I feel like there's still plenty of space to go with the level cue and stun the cue ball behind it. Did she? Well, it looks like she did go aggressive on the 1. I would have loved to have the cue ball frozen up on the 10. So it will be the safety on the 2. Can still push the 2 ball up table. Maybe even the cue ball under the 4-10. Maybe another try. I don't think it's going to grab as much. So played for the 7 ball in between. Did she leave a window? Very possibly. But the jump cue is coming with. could see the bridge hand, maybe not the most stable bridge hand, was moving quite a lot, and that unintentional spin on the cue ball mark definitely curved the cue ball away from the 2. I don't think the aiming was a problem. I think it was just a little bit stability.
Keeping exactly the same, Tim. It's almost like she was on her nails instead of her fingertips when she was bridging there. So not very secure.
Yeah, Sakura was not so secure. She will be very secure this time, though. Now, I like the shot Pia has played. Okay, she would have liked the 2 maybe under the cluster. But it's so close nearby the 3-4-10. If Muramatsu makes a mistake opening those up, could be filler on the hill. So no, she's missed that too. Okay, she's hit the 2 ball, but no third rail. We might see Pia chasing the 3 fall. Great opportunity. Actually, I like banking the 2 ball maybe to the left side of the 3-4-10. And then the cue ball into the 4. Stick it with the 4 ball. Problem is, of course, we're using the shot clock. If you're practicing or if you're like playing friendly matches, you've got so much time to figure out the perfect safety in this kind of occasion. She might even be going aggressive. I'm surprised if she would be.
Maybe looking to play the safety on the 3, Tim, instead. Oh no, she's gone aggressive, but she can still play the safety. Get the cue ball right in behind the 4 and the 10. Wants to run the cue ball into the 4 here. Okay, it may not be the best hook possible, but it keeps control of the table.
Yeah, problem is
to hit the 4 ball.
With the ball in hand she had, she definitely could have played a better save than she has this time. Not expecting this to be a 3 fouls in a row. Okay, if there's any scratches, Muramatsu does lose the rack instantly though. So you still gotta watch the cue ball. Oh, you still gotta watch the cue ball.
Oh no. Game over. Oh, what a way to lose the rack. You called it, Tim. We see that so often, don't we, off that 2-rail kick. Hitting the underside of the 3 ball and getting the scratch. So on the hill already in this opening set. And there you go, as if by magic. There are some stats for you guys pretty early on. Player oval performance though, Tim, look at the difference there. 933 to 385.
Yeah, you gotta say table time too, 71% for Pia. And 4 fouls already for Muramatsu. Okay, she did get 3 fouled in the previous rack, but it's quite some fouls early on. So a bad start for the Japanese, and Pia now breaking to take the opening set. She's made the 1 into the middle. Nice break. This 2 ball, I think it does go, but can she play herself onto the 3 ball? Maybe with top spin, maybe a drip of inside to avoid the 9 and the 6 going straight up.
Two looks very tight already. You've got to judge this right if you're playing it with spin. Yeah, didn't play with any spin, took a risk. I'm not sure she's got the potting angle, Tim, here.
Yeah, definitely looks to be behind the 10. She's going very creative, overcutting the 3-ball on the left and bringing the cue ball all the way back down table. And her options quite limited.
Yeah, could also just play it up and down. If she's got enough of the 3-ball, try and play it between the 10 and the 8.
Yeah, not thin enough. And a must-take opportunity for MURAMATSU.
Looked to me, Tim, like she had left-hand spin on it. It checked off the second rail, didn't it? She wanted the opposite spin. She needed a bit of right-hand spin on that to send it round the angles.
Yeah, maybe she was trying to track to the right side of the 10-8-9. I can imagine the left spin, but it's most of the time going to push the cue ball thick. And look at this. She's just barely on the 4. But that punchy stroke on the top spin kept the cue ball on the top side of the table, not smooth enough to bring it all the way down. Yeah, being down 3-1, you get this kind of shot, and you know every mistake is going to cost you the set. You can see the shake mark on the shoulder. There must be a lot of tension in the body there. No doubt at all.
Looking very uneasy, isn't she, at the moment? Sad to see when a player just can't really get going and they are suffering with nerves. It's never a nice thing to witness or feel. But of course, these are the opportunities, Tim, you've got to take advantage of, aren't they? Make hay while the sun shines, so to speak.
Well, I feel like key shot is coming up. If she at least gets the cue ball where it is now, gives her a natural angle to drop back down for the 8. Yeah, perfect. This is going to make her life a lot easier from 7 to the 8. Could play 2 rails running towards the 8.
Yeah, I like that, Tim. Just a bit of right-hand spin. Always coming in onto the potting angle.
But then there is another miss, like we've seen earlier. It's like this kind of spot shot angle. Just doesn't feel right yet for Pia. She's missed the 9 and now the 8. Very similar shot.
Yeah, strange. Just like a normal half ball shot, wasn't it? Nothing to do with the cue ball. She was always going to be on the 9 ball. Just maybe didn't finish the stroke, Tim. Maybe just quit slightly. Tester then. Oh, nicely done.
Yeah, so the Japanese now pulling one back, 3-2. Maybe giving her a bit of confidence. Like I said, her opening break was nice, just not getting a shot. If she can reproduce, maybe we find ourselves into a hill set. Yeah, we've got 4 tables live on Probability TV. Macintosh against you on table 2. You and Chen, table 3. And Bryant against Zalewska, table 4. All free and live on Probability TV. Sylviana Liu beating Chiyu Cho, by the way, in the previous round of matches. Maybe one of the surprises out there early on, Mark?
Yeah, that's 3 surprises for me. Kelly Fisher, Chao Che-Yu, So Soa, all first round victims, gone to the one loss side. As we see a ball down for Sakura.
Yeah, this time indeed a ball down. Shape on the 1. We'll have to cut this with a lot of right. 2 rails to the middle of the table. I mean, ideally straight on the 2. But for some players, a bit too sensitive. A little bit of draw, a lot of right spin. Just in front of the side on the rail. Well, she's played it perfect. She could not have played it any better. That's the danger, you know, if you miss 1 or 2 balls you're supposed to make. Now suddenly your opponent feels like, oh hey, she's not playing a flawless set, I have a chance. The hopes go up. You don't know what's gonna happen. Now, I kinda like going forward, maybe taking a little bit more cut on the 3 ball. Because imagine if you understroke or you stroke just slightly too much on the draw. I think forward the pace is a little easier to control. But still, I looked just by accident, I looked at her thumb actually. And while she was cueing that 2 ball, she still looked like she was shaking a little bit.
Ooh. Lost the cue ball. She didn't pot it cleanly.
Yeah, did take the risk. Still chasing the run. Now, this one quite much on the scratch. Maybe if she plays this a little thicker with a smooth low right, she might be able to still get the cue ball away from the scratch, but I think it's awful close. Well, safety it is, and one thing I can reassure, this is not safe. It's another chance. Filler now breaking down a little bit. Okay, she had a difficult position. Still from the 6 to the 7 ball. Biggest shot of the rack. Big stroke on the 5, and now a big stroke on the 6 mark. Super draw.
Yeah, new cloth. If there's a time to do it, it's now. Makes the drawing of the cue ball that much easier, but you've still got to time it right. You've got to keep the head still. Plenty of follow through. Changed the mind. Went rail first, Tim. Played it nicely.
Yeah, a little bit more of a cut though on the 7. It was always going to arc a bit forward, a bit shorter. As you can see, she'll have to play this with a little left. Kind of has to hold the cue ball. Cue ball will track towards the 9. Only stating the challenges. I'm not saying it's impossible. Nice and clean. You see, she looks a lot different from the first couple racks.
Just makes such a difference getting a rack on the board when she did. Those 2 bad mistakes, one on the 9 ball and one on the 8 ball from Pia. The set could have been over by now.
Oh. Well. She's gonna have to take this long. This is for 3 each though. Well, nice and clean. I mean, she really looked nervous at a couple of occasions. But it's MURAMATSU now playing herself right back into this set. And I think Pia might start to feel the heat a little bit of this comeback.
Already going well. Jasmine Ocean has taken the opening set against Francesca Colucci. Hong Jingyu, the ex-world champion, junior champion, 2-1 up against Kennedy Mayman, Brittany Bryant and Olivia Zalewska. 1-1, that's over on table 4 for you guys. Amber Chen is a set-up against Olivia Cheng. Margaret Fefilova in action. She's 2-0 up against Christine Steinledge from Germany. Anna Gradisnik, a set-up already for Slovenia. 1-0 over Mina Tani.
Yeah,
Good again, Tim.
One of the better breakers we're going to see so far in the event, or at least the next couple rounds, I imagine. Because balls are flying in. But look at this position to play from the 2 to the 3 ball. I don't even think... Well, you can go 3 rails and leave yourself the cut on the 3 ball. Low right spin. But also the cut is steep.
If she feels really aggressive, Tim, she can go 4 rails and go short side. But she's not doing that.
No, she's played safe. I like this. I like this. Look at this. Beautiful cue ball. I think it's a mature decision to realize, okay, I'm most likely not going to get on the 3 ball. Let's play a good safety instead. Okay, there is a 2 rail escape or 3 ball. Depends if she wants to go off the back or directly into it.
It's a MURAMATSU shot. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, in a lot of trouble there, Pia. Especially if that flicks the 8 ball away from the 5. Oh, that's changed everything, Tim.
Yeah, now I'm only looking at from the 6 to the 7 and the 7 to the 8.
I think that's more of a nervous laugh. Or a, I can't believe it. Or, you know, that kind of feeling you get. Typical, not only have I missed it, I've been unlucky enough to open up the 8 and the 5. I'm sure that's what was going through Pia's mind then. Unfortunate. Incredible, isn't it? Q Sports. Absolutely sailing, Pia was. Looked as if she was going to run away with the first set. 2 missed balls. It's changed the whole match. And it's not, you know, they weren't difficult shots, Tim, were they? That's what makes it even more annoying. They were balls that, well, she'd make 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, I truly wonder how something like that could have happened to her. Oh, this one is a bit pacey. And she might be running quite full into the 9. So in this case, I want to draw the cue ball off the 9. Don't go crazy on the screw, because you might draw it into the middle or into the corner.
I never thought I'd hear the day that Tim Delaita would use the word screw.
Well, still a little bit of shake. If you just look at her arms, you can see there is a little bit of nerves, but you know, on the other side, nerves sometimes they can literally bring the best out of you.
Yeah, they can keep you sharp, can't they? Keep you focused.
Yeah, look at her at her forearm. But I mean, it's nice and straight. There's not much you can say, but just it looks odd to see her shaking that much.
Look at it. Wow. Oh, she's messed this up slightly.
Yeah, this then to take the opening set. This could be very painful for Filler. From 3-1 down. You gotta cut this into the bottom left. It's still there.
Oh, where's the cue ball? Where's the cue ball? It's all right. Oh, what a set,
so
Tim.
It means MURAMATSU has stolen this set for the 3. As you can see, referee telling us MURAMATSU is going for a timeout. Pia remains in her chair. She might still go, who knows. Mark White, myself, Tim Druiter, we're gonna take a timeout too. And we'll be back very shortly with the second set between Filler and MURAMATSU. both Pia Filler and Sakura Muramatsu are back. Muramatsu, who just stole the opening set. And it's up to the German, who's now chasing the next 2 sets to stay alive in the winner's side of the bracket. Mark White and Tim de Ruiter in the booth for this Banca del Fucino WPA Women's World 10-Ball Championship. Mark, what do you think about the second set?
Yeah, I think it's very important now to see how Pia kind of responds from that first set defeat. She was very much the favourite to take it, Tim. But 2 big mistakes, one on the 8-ball, one on the 9-ball. It's really what cost up. She's going to have to increase the game, or her game. And meanwhile, Sakura, although she looked very, very nervous in the first, she got the job done.
Well, you got to be honest too. Also, Sakura, who maybe didn't have the biggest achievements yet, maybe in her career on the international circuit. So, for her to beat Pia Filler possibly in the opening round of the World Championship could be a major win, and who knows, maybe pushes her very far into this tournament as well. So, I can imagine the nerves definitely, and I mean, I'm indeed surprised that she closed out from 3-1 behind.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. And it, you know, it's fair to say that Pia is the favourite. Certainly was before the match started.
Yeah, let's see. Most important thing for Pia is the fact that, especially when you get on the 7, 8, 9 or the 10, like towards the end of the rack, you gotta close them out. I mean, okay, you can miss a 1 or a 2 ball and still get away with it, but not towards the end of the rack. Those are so costly. Ooh. Just a little short on the pace, almost slicing the 1 ball in. She did not call the 5 ball, so the option goes to Muramatsu to either play herself or to give it back. Well, this certainly a position I would never ever consider to give back. You can go real first. If you cannot go real first, you take the jump and you hope you land decent on the 2. How is the pace? A bit pacey.
Yeah, it gives her the chance, though, doesn't it, to keep control of the table.
Yeah, a little bit of right spin needed. Could play for a little bump onto the 10. No. She did go for less of a trap, but more balls that could go in between.
Oh, she'll take that. Oh, dear.
Yeah, this is not something you plan beforehand. Not, not completely like this, obviously. Well, great contact too from Muramatsu. I mean, on those specific kicks, the only thing you gotta do is try to pick a side, choose the proper pace, and well, you kind of need a little bit of a roll on where the 2-ball lands. You cannot have pure control.
Well, not looking comfortable at all at the moment. She's got the chewing gum out as well in this set. I don't think she was chewing gum in the first one. Maybe it helps her focus. Have you ever chewed gum, Tim, when you play? Are you a gum chewer?
I have tried it, but in general, I didn't like it. The only reason why I would actually chew gum in the past is to, well, I tend to get hungry at times. I like food. And, well, if you eat gum, you kind of trick your brain into eating something. So you kind of still the hunger inside.
Well,
yeah.
I've actually heard the opposite of that. A doctor once told me that if you chew gum, it starts the acids in your stomach to start working, thinking it's going to get food, but it doesn't. So my doctor told me it's not a good idea to chew if you're hungry, but if it helps you, it helps you.
Well, it's not something I've done in the past 10 years, so I'm glad that I stopped if I hear your story, your side of the story.
Good boy.
Now, again, MURAMATSU at the table. Again, she's the one having the prime shape on the 7. And if you look at Pia's face in the chair, I mean, I'm not gonna say she looks frustrated or like dead scared, but for a second she looked a little bit worried.
Oh, Sakura definitely growing in confidence.
And now her pace for the table starts to be right too. Like the position, every shot is getting better and better. Yeah, MURAMATSU now winning in the past 4 racks we've played. She's up 1-0. Filler again in trouble. Still a long way to go. It's a race to 4. Winner break. Here's some stats. MURAMATSU so far in this second set, she's been perfect. Break success, I mean, for this match, not really bad. If you look at 75% against 50%. Table time has evened out. Player overall performance, overall, quite even. Yeah, biggest difference really has been the difference in the missed shots. And that's also where the difference in scoreline has come from.
Well, one name, Tim, I have noticed playing in this tournament, and I can't remember her playing in any other tournament apart from Hayball, and you'll know the name when I say it, Tiangxi Shi. She normally wins a lot of the Hayball tournaments. Yeah. And she's actually a set-up against Wan Ling Wang at the moment as well. I've never seen her in like an American pool type event, have you?
I think it's very interesting how she won the Challenge of Champions just last week. And now she's playing American pool indeed. Big switch. It's different. Never seen her play American pool.
No, me neither.
Well, who knows? A dark horse in the field? Are we going to be tricked? Pick your winner, Mark.
We'll have to wait and see. I love it when I get a chuckle out of Tim.
Yeah, most of the time when these kind of puns appear, that's where the chuckle comes from. Oh, how's the pace? Yeah, again, just fine. Angle also to get back to the middle of the table. Pia safety just running into the 7. Just slightly too thick. And it starts to feel like it's a bit of one-way traffic so far in the match. Like, at this point, MURAMATSU has been getting more table time, more rhythm, better positions. And occasionally Pia gets to play safety. Of course, this is part of the women's Predator Pro Billiard series. Hasn't been launched too long ago. Of course, we do have so many women's events. Predator decided to make their own tour out of it. Bit surprised she played for the 4 into the corner, Mark. Was expecting her to play for the middle.
Yeah, I was as well. This is the trickiest shot so far she's faced in this particular run. But once again, what a shot she's played. Fabulous shot. Well, if you hadn't watched the first set and you just joined, you know, you're looking at this match, you'd think, well, Sakura is completely in control of this match. You'd never think she was 3-1 down, would you, in the opening set?
Well, if you would tell those same viewers that she was shaking all over the place in the first, and now they come into the match and they see her play like this, I don't think they would believe me either. I mean, after that first set, complete different Sakura around the table. Now, she's worried about this 6 ball in some way. I don't think top right spin is much of a problem. So she's played to the short side. This is an interesting choice. A little far. I don't think there was any need to play this shape. Could still play safe. But I have a feeling she's going to chase the run out.
Yeah, I think the good thing, even though she's got a little bit too much angle, at least she's pretty close to it. And she's got nothing to do with a cue ball either, so she can just concentrate on sliding this down the rail. Just like that. A different player, isn't she, in set number 2? And of course, the longer that Pia sits in her chair, the harder it's going to be for her, Tim, to gain any rhythm.
Yeah, if she gets punished over and over, she's not going to get into stroke. This is a long 8 ball, though. And she's missed it. So, a let off. A chance for Filler to get back into it.
Yeah, and it was a mistake on an 8 ball by Pia, which flipped the first set around. Could it be an 8-ball again, which turns this second set? Pia will be hoping that's the case. But she does need to get the break going as well, Tim.
Well, just okay on the 10. She did look again a little bit. She gave us that look like, well, that was just barely okay.
Yeah, I think she was surprised, wasn't she, at the way the cue ball kept running. But anyway, it's Sakura, which gives that rack away with that miss on the 8-ball. I'm not saying it was an easy 8, but she was quite some way away from it. So Pia right back in this second set now, a set that she needs to win, of course.
Yes, we will have 7 days of action coming all the way from Rome. To have 3 events. Of course, we've got the Banca del Fucino, actually, WPA Women's World 10-Ball Championship. The Predator Wheelchair Open is one I'm looking forward to see. One of the rare events, biggest prize money in wheelchair pool ever, I've heard. And the Fujifilm Women's
10,000.
Double Master Showdown. Well, little flick, but she gets on the 3-ball. Could get on the 4 to the top left. But if she's not feeling it, she might play a safety. I think that's what's happening. And it's a good safety. The only thing I'm worried about is if you're in the open position and you're going to play safe, what kind of signal do you give your opponent?
Yeah, I think she'll be pleased that Pia didn't go for that 3-ball, I think. She may have thought she might not get back to the table. Whenever you do let your opponent back, you just never know what can happen. Well, this time she's going to get ball in hand. So the right choice. Japan well represented here. Chihiro Kawahara, Yuki Hiriguchi, Konishi as well, who's already beaten Kelly Fisher.
Yeah, those are actually a lot of Japanese. Now, a little bit of a must run out this was with the ball in hand, but she's found herself straight. The only option to run out is to draw back for the 6 in the middle.
Yeah, there is one young lady from Japan I forgot to mention, Nina Tani. And she's at the moment a set down to Anna Gradiznik. But she's 3-1 up in the second set. Important rack, this one, Tim, isn't it?
Well, especially if you consider the fact that Pia does get a little bit momentum. You know, momentum is luring to go maybe to her side. But if she's not going to clear up, might go back to Muramatsu.
2 rails at this. Didn't seem to have a lot of chalk on her cue there, Tim, I noticed. There was a bare spot.
Well, in the end, Filler straight in on the 7. 3 straight ins for 2-1. I mean, this still can go anywhere. This still could go into a deciding set. But I feel like Muramatsu is still involved in this, though. It's not like Filler has been playing crazy much better.
Yeah, as comfortable as she usually does.
Yeah, most
Just
of the
talking.
stats pretty much even.
You just mentioned the wheelchair open, Tim. First match of that is going to be Rick Larson, who is one of the top players in the world, I think it's fair to say. And he will be up against Norway's Breda Arnoy. And that will be on this table 1. That's at 6 p.m. Attempt to Tim.
Well, I find this one tricky. I mean, this is one of those shots, yeah, if you make it, you might be on the 1. If you miss, I think you could sell out the whole rack. I'm not sure at this point in the set also. I'm not sure if the risk is the right shot, but we're gonna find out. Well, she might have gotten the second prize with where the 2-ball landed.
I think Pierre's going to have to jump this one.
Yes, indeed. Oh, she's putting on a lot of elevation. And now, oh, back and forth, Mark.
Jump cue again. It's turned into a jumping contest. And again. Four jumps in a row, Tim.
Well, I'm sure after this one, no more jumps. Was always going to put the 2-ball in the open. But again, no shot though. That 2-ball really doesn't want to stay over her pocket.
Yeah, won't be jumping this one. Have to be Cole Lewis to jump this one.
Well, the kick, not much easier. We'll have to go over the right side. 2 rails. We'll have to kick near the center pocket. Bit of left spin. And another save, another save. Great hit. But the outcome's now back and forth.
Yeah, really good hit that one, Tim. After the last 2 that she'd attempted. Really good hit. Nice return as well.
Yeah, good shot, good pace this time on the cue ball. She's got the full hook. Again, going for a 2 rail. Now, I feel like the side pocket comes into play just a little bit.
Yeah, needs a lot of left, doesn't she?
Yeah, in front of the side with a lot of left, and she went just around it. The spin got her, so after a lot of innings back and forth, Filler with the ball in hand. Any issues on the table? Maybe the 4-ball?
Well, this 2-ball's not going to this particular shot. I can guarantee that. It's up as long as it possibly could.
Slightly straight. Going forward 2 rails. Needs good speed control to get to the center of the table, a little bit further. To go back, I think it's easy to fall too short. Yeah, speed is not right, Mark. She will have to run into the 8 ball. Can foresee some problem coming up.
Yeah, fighting hard for prime position right now. Not easy. Every time you put a little bit more pressure on yourself.
Well, somewhat of a decent recovery, but now we're getting a little longer. A little bit more work to go into the short rail and back out. Good news is just get above the 7. Everything should be fine angle-wise.
Now this is a similar shot to the 8 ball she missed in a previous rack in the last set. Not this time.
Did flirt with the 8 ball there. But she's on the 8. So this to bring her again on the hill. Almost similar scoreline.
Yeah, she led 3-1 in the opening set, but still lost it. She can't afford to do that this time.
Yeah, so there's now another hill for Filler to climb. Overall now, player overall performance, she's been rising. Break success, very similar still. Big difference in fouls and mixed shots. If you look at those 2 stats, I think that's where most of the difference this match is. Safety efficiency, well, it might be 1 or 2 safeties difference, not too much. But every ball in hand or every missed ball has been very costly this match.
Referee Jalo Kotinurmi from Finland in charge, racking the balls for Pia to break them off. Oh dear. Well, there's an attacking bank, Tim, and it does offer 3 rail position.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure about that shot, Tim.
Yeah, I think she's trying to push the 1 to the top short rail and create the distance, but not this way. This is jumpable. Okay, it's not guaranteed to be on the 2, but can consider playing this, jumping this with a little bit of topspin. run the cue ball more straight down. Yeah, nice jump. Bit more angle on the 2. And does she have a way out to go back up table? Could roll up on the 10 possibly. Do I see any other options? Well, there's always another option. But I don't mind rolling up on the 10. I just see no value going for the pot itself. Yeah, still surprised she had to run the clock down all the way on that 2 ball. She took, well, I'm not gonna say 60 seconds, but she took a lot of time. Oh, nice spot. Does she get the cue ball off the rail? A little bit, but she'll have to come up with another good shot on the 4 to the middle. Yeah, interesting thing is she just went over to look for if the 4 goes by the 5. That is something she should have checked before playing the 2 ball. That's where usually you can find out that she'll have not enough angle or cue ball on the rail, these kind of things.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't pass the 5, Tim. Can play the 4 up and down, cue ball behind the 5. We're playing thin off it by the looks of it. Good shot.
Yeah, I would have loved to have the cue ball frozen on the 8. That would be the ultimate trap. But still, safe is safe. As you can see, Pia now kind of feels like she has to rush. Does she get on the 5? A little flick on the 9. I think the 5 does go by the 8. And she definitely is cueing the ball a lot better than the first set mark. So, I mean, even though she's down 3-1, don't count her out. This has happened before in this match.
Yeah, and if she can finish this rack off here, it will certainly put a bit of pressure on Pia and maybe bring back some memories of that opening set. You never know. I mean, that's a really good shot. There wasn't a lot of room to play with there. She's got a nice angle on this 6 ball to come back to the centre of the table again. So it's a chance, Tim. Doesn't want to be straight or hampered, or that's a little bit sloppy. Should have been nowhere near that 9 ball. Luckily, though, she's a lefty. But left herself, really awkward.
Well, that could be a painful one. She kind of stepped back with disappointed look on her face. 1 cut on this 7 ball. And this set might be Pia Fillers.
Yeah, there was no excuse to be near that 9. She had so much space to play with. Now just need this 8 ball. Doesn't want to be behind the 10 shot.
Does she get the proper angle? She might not have it. And okay, if that cue ball runs a little bit to the top side of the table, that's exactly the shot she's missed twice before.
Oh, this for 1 set all.
Yeah, nice and clean this time. So Pia Filler now taking the 2nd set, calling the timeout. And now this time Muramatsu in her chair. You could see she is definitely affected by losing that 2nd set. Here's some stats for you. Both Filler and Muramatsu are going to take their timeout, and Mark White, myself, Tim Druiter, we're going to do exactly the same. But don't go anywhere. We've got the deciding set coming up very soon. The players are back. Mark White and Tim de Ruyter. We are back and we are ready for a deciding set between Pia FILLER and Sakura MURAMATSU. If we go 3 each, we do go into a shootout. Now, 1 raise to 4 to stay on the winner's side of the bracket. And a dry break, Mark.
Yeah, and looking at this, the 1 ball, I think, will go off the 9. Possible, or maybe it doesn't. What do you think, Tim? Do you play the 9?
I think you gotta play the 9. I think the 1 ball dresses up nicely over the corner too, with the cue ball top right spin. Crossing over near the 4. I mean, now. Okay, well, I was still expecting her to go for the cut, but she's played a good cue ball. It's taken it away at least most of the obvious kicks.
I can see a 2 rail kick, but it's not easy. I would have gone top short rail, side rail. Which way would you go, Tim, out of interest?
I was thinking about the bottom short rail with a lot of right spin, like create an angle. But oh, she's found a window between the 10 and the 2. This is a nifty little hit there on the 1.
Did very, very well to hit that. Well, I was searching, Tim, for a segue into how can I bring up the new event in San Antonio. Well, I saw somebody sat in the audience with a pro-level T-shirt on, you know the ones, and then I actually spotted someone in the chat called Pro-Level, and they are, in fact, from Texas. So, new event, San Antonio in Texas, 23rd of November till the 28th. So there you go, Pro Level. You can nip along. Got the Women's Open. We got the Men's Doubles Open, I believe, as well, at that same event. And the Junior 10-Ball World Championships. Actually, it's the Mixed Doubles Open, as well as the Men's and Women's Open. So lots going on. Brand new event, San Antonio, Texas, 23rd of November.
Now, again, Pia at the table. Thinks a bit longer. Long 2-ball, now longer 3-ball. Still manageable, but of course, for both players now, pressure.
Well, I think, Tim, if Pia can get through this match, she'll be mighty relieved.
Well, Pia's cue ball position is slowly starting to be better too. Like I said, she's getting a bit more table time again. So stroke starts to be more fluent and well, would have loved a couple balls further though. It's still okay. Yeah, great run out. This stand for Filler to take the first rack in the deciding set. Yeah, now MURAMATSU losing quite some racks on the spin. I think it is also 4 on a spin now for Filler.
Yeah, we head to Ho Chi Minh City later on as well. 19th of September to the 26th. We'll have the women's 9-ball open. We'll have the box billiards mixed doubles open. And of course the men's World 10-ball championships, sponsored by Simonis. That's coming up for you in September, followed by Indonesia. More of that later. Back to the action. One Tim.
Well, one of the more successful breaks from this whole match. 2 balls in, no future. Not really a surprise.
That's where you want the cue ball in the middle of the table, isn't it? Would have been nicely on the 2. Could be a tempt to this, Tim.
I mean, it is on. The only thing is, I feel like you make the 2. What are you going to get on the 3 ball to even be on the 4?
Yeah, the possible 4-7 combo, of course, is on.
Yes, indeed. A 4-7 combination. She's put herself nice, though. A little bit further or shorter would have made this a bit ugly. But prime shape on the combination. See, very nicely controlled. Same goes for the 4. Yeah, looking to find the same form she had in the first set. Just scrap the 2 misses she had on the 8 or the 9. She can do that, I think. She's going to run away with this set. But we just don't know. We were surprised back then too, Mark.
Yeah, 2-0 lead here would be very, very handy indeed. Still anybody's match, though. I get the feeling it's not going to be plain sailing. And there you go. This is out of position already, Tim.
Yeah, now you gotta weigh off your percentages. Can I still make this with top right spin? Am I going to play top left and take another cut on the 9? Or am I going to play double pace? Am I going to play safe? There's all kinds of options. But this is not the option, Mark.
Well, I can't really find an excuse for that. I'd love to have an excuse, but I can't think of one. Can you, Tim? It was just a poorly judged shot. I mean, there was no pressure on it. Maybe she was a little bit annoyed that she didn't get on the 6 ball. But
well, definitely the angle. The angle she's given herself, that's frustrating one. But like I said, if she can stop making those mistakes near the end of the rack, I actually think Pia's playing well, but simply cannot give ball in hand on 3 balls or leave the 8 or the 9 on the table.
Yeah, just very uncharacteristic of Pia. I mean, I was saying at the beginning how much I think she's improved over the last couple of years. And I think she was favourite coming into this match, to be honest. Should have won the first set, but let it slip with a couple of misses. Should have been throw up there, really. Now it's 1-1.
Yeah, especially if you look at player overall performance, set number 3, 556 for MURAMATSU. So Pia, till this point, was the favorite in the third and deciding set. More balls pocketed, but in the end, it's all about the money ball. Well, and then now, out of the blue, 4 balls going in. She's got shape on the 2. Wide open layout. I don't know what she's done there, but I would say find a way to do it over and over. Now this is a cut on the 2 into the middle. Low left spin, the left. Okay, is going to bring the cue ball a bit thicker into the 2. But it also throws the 2 ball more to the right towards the towards the middle. So yeah, that's one hurdle. Now twice the long rail towards the center of the table, top left spin. And there is a mistake. Oh, what a mistake. Make 4 balls on the break. You were actually in prime shape on the 3 ball to hang that 3 ball. And I mean, how can you not love any of those layouts, Mark? I mean, 5 balls on the table.
Well, did you see how quick Pia Filler got out of her chair like a greyhound out of the traps?
And she has drawn the cue ball perfectly to get on the 4. So little draw, get a little straighter on the 5 to where you can play low left up to the 6. Would be getting away with one in this rack, I feel.
Yeah, nicely on this 6. Just the face playing right.
Well, cue ball did land on the rail. Wouldn't be the first mistake she's made, so she gotta stay sharp. But nice and clean. Takes the lead again, 2-1. 1 rack away to secure at least a shootout. But I'm sure that's not what she's playing for.
Now, Tim, are you a cat lover? Do you like cats?
I don't mind cats.
Well, in Rome, cats actually have special legal rights. According to local law, if a group of 5 or more cats lives together in an urban area without human ownership, they constitute a feline colony. These colonies are protected by law, meaning that cats can never be evicted from those houses, and they are legally allowed to roam wherever they please, including historic ruins like the Torre Argentina. So have got a right in Italy. Contrast to the last break off from Sakura. No balls down. A little bit weak, that one, I thought, Tim.
Yeah, it's especially with the break Pia is choosing, that cut break just doesn't transfer as much over to the whole core of the stack, mostly to one side of the stack.
Well, if she's pushing into this corner, it's going to leave rather an easy safety for Pia. Off the right-hand side of the one ball. There's plenty of balls to try and get behind here, Tim.
Yeah, I cannot imagine her going aggressive here. Well, I mean, I might have lost the plot, but I really don't see any reason why you would go aggressive, Mark.
So, I mean, all she's got now is very thin off the 2 ball and try and hide in behind the 8 and the 5. It's got to judge the pace right.
Well, it's okay. In general, I'm more of a fan of trying to get my opponent to open up the cluster on the table, or in this case, I think the biggest issue on the table. Because now if MURAMATSU makes one good hit, one good jump, and she gets a safety in, she could turn things around. So always dangerous opening up the cluster, and this is exactly what I mean. So now Pia, okay, well the 4-5 has locked up, so not ideal, but I'm saying if it stayed open, Pia would have opened up the cluster and MURAMATSU might get away with it.
Seen a few of those misses, Tim, in the first couple of matches that we've commentated on. Missing the one rail kick by quite some distance. I wonder, is she considering a flick off the 5 here?
Yeah, you gotta catch the left side of the 5 if you really want to chase the run out. Like, I also don't see any value making the 2 and the 3 and then playing a safe on the 4. I'd rather just try to play safe on the 2 ball then.
Yeah, I thought with ball in hand she might have gone a little bit aggressive there, Tim. You've been very unlucky not to have a look afterwards. I mean, a slight chance you get hooked behind the 5 and the 4. Now she's added another ball to the club. And said
You know,
that
she might.
it's the 4 on.
That little nudge from the 6 into the 5 might have given her a bank on the 4. And that's the thing, when you start to pocket the 2 and the 3 ball, there is no way back. You in this case, I just don't feel like it makes any sense to play safe. But there's no bank, so she will have to hit this thin and try to get the 9 in between.
Oh, not that fit. You don't see that, do you? Whole ball to look at. And you actually miss the ball. Trouble here again.
This also, the cue ball had to be at least all the way over to the right long rail. Because this one rail kick is quite decent, even if you have to play with a little bit of spin to go into it. I give her a big chance to make a decent hit on the 4.
Yeah, she's going to need some luck though, Tim, to get it safe. And just plays it dead weight, which she hasn't. Well, she has got lucky.
Well, this is on. Okay, now a lot of players, they like to go aggressive, but I don't think it makes any sense unless you put yourself straight on a 5-10 combination, which you probably will have to play the 5 into the rail.
Well, she did get a good 4 ball. Day 1 here, guys. 7 day of top class action. Women's World 10 ball. The men's wheelchair open. And the women's doubles showdown presented by Film. Good to have another great out of industry sponsor on board, as well as Banca del Fucino. We've got Fujifilm as well. It's good to see some of these large corporates coming in, Tim.
Well, here's the chance, but still, like I said, that 4 and the 10, just awful. And by the way, I agree. I'm very happy to see outside corporates finding the beauty of this game. And definitely the characters of the players too, you know, like for some of the people, they look at pool and they just see 10 balls on the table and a guy that pockets one after another. But when you dive into the world of billiards, actually, not just pool, you get to find out many different styles, strokes, characters, personalities, a bunch of it. she did have to go aggressive. And this now a lot easier on the 10. The 10 does come back up. But at least you have a chance. Make the carom, go real first off the 10. Maybe you'll get on the 5.
I can remember being at the first ever Pro Billiard Series event. Oh dear, it's missed for a second time. Doesn't want to go down that 10 ball, does it? It's definitely going to go down this time. I was just going to say, Tim, I can remember being at one of the player meetings before the first ever Pro Billiard Series, and there was a speech by Karim Bohaj, the CEO of Predator, giving his vision of the Pro Billiard Series and where he wanted to see it in 5 years. And it is indeed 5 years now. And everything he said has come to fruition. I mean, it's grown so much, this particular tour. A lot of people didn't like the format when it started, but fans and players alike are now really warming to it. It's an exciting alternative to the normal formats of pool. And, you know, it's just testament to all the hard work from the Predator team that have put in over the years. And now we're seeing things like this with banks getting involved and Fuji, big names. And we've also had other outside sponsors such as Medaya Light, if you remember, as well. So it's good to see not just the sport in general, but this particular format as well, because I'm a huge fan.
That mistake for MURAMATSU. I think she was really trying to slice the 5 into the 10. A bit steep. Gotta say, a little bit on the wrong side of this 9. But she will be shooting at the 10 to get at least a shootout guaranteed. And also 1 rack closer to stay into the winner's side bracket. So they stand for a 3-1 lead for the double hill. Pia FILLER. Yeah, and again she's missed one of those shots. This now happening. This is a 3rd time this match. She's missed one of those, and I'm starting to think she might have a struggle with that specific angle, but this is just unbelievable.
Well, the only thing I can think of, Tim, is jet lag. Oh, she's really been let off there. I know a lot of the players that were playing in the World 8 Ball in Wisconsin, their flights were actually cancelled because of a tornado. There's somebody taking our picture there, look, Tim.
Yeah, definitely
Wow.
a crucial point in this match.
Well, she'll be feeling blessed. Okay, it wasn't an easy shot for Sakura, but you would have expected her to make it. Just wobbling it. Couple of results to bring you. Siming Chen has won in 2-1 against Singapore's Anran Yu. Christina Moschetti has lost 2-0 to Rochelle M. Foy. Now, Rochelle M. Foy, you may remember, Tim, from the recent youth championships in Slovenia. And she won one title and finished runner-up in another one, I believe, at a terrific tournament.
Yeah, and of course, now with Muramatsu missing the 10, all the momentum going Filler's way. Gets a ball in on the break, gets a shape on the 1, and doesn't have to do too much to be on the 2 to the middle, except for the pace. I think this pace has been quite nice. Stun left into the bottom short rail. She might be shooting for the win in this rack right now.
Well, I've got a theory, Tim, on why Pia Filler is chewing gum in this third set, but she wasn't in the first one. We have our fellow commentator on site, George Teachea. He spent his life working for Wrigley's, and I reckon he's still got a stash that he carries around with him for emergencies, and I reckon he's given a pack of it to Pia Filler, saying, go on, that'll change your luck.
But why?
I don't know. It must be special chewing gum, Tim.
Well, she did land a little bit on the wrong side of the 6, so she'll have to play top left spin. Not too much left. Maybe from this angle, just top spin will work. Could go for 2 rails, short rail, left long rail towards the 7. That works too, a little bit more left. Depends. I feel like the shot clock has been getting to her a little bit though.
Oh, she loaded up there, Tim. A little bit too much left. Either that or she didn't get through the ball enough and expected to be further down the table. But this is very, very missable now. She's missed easier balls than this in this match. Good shot. Gonna have to come with a big draw here, Tim, I think. A bit of low left. Unless she wants to leave the cue ball where the 8 is.
Yeah, she does play A brilliant 9-ball there. Beautiful on the 10. So this 10 to stick with the winners group. MURAMATSU will have to grind through the one last side. So this Pierre Filler advancing. Winning 2-1 in sets. Maybe a bit of a relief